I'm your host, Andy Krupsinger. That was our friend. No copyright infringement. That was Mackie the Rat, our mascot here on Southeast Iowa Prep Sports Plus. We are here on April 17th, 2025, and we have more high school spring sports. As
You're trying to get us sued, man. You're trying to get us sued. We're trying to make money, not lose money.
Nobody has a copyright on Mackie the Rat, actually. I checked before the game.
I'm just saying.
You want to know how Mackie the Rat talks?
Yeah, do it.
He says, "Oh boy, I'm sure
that reminds me of a certain maybe cousin to
He has some cousins. Yeah. He has some famous cousins, but this is Mackie. This is Mackie the Rat. Anyway, we're powered not by Mackie, but by Fairway Food Stores. The best place to go, period. If you're hungry, if you're not hungry, if you just want to get inside and hang out, don't do that though. Go buy stuff. And all the sponsors that you see on your screen. Right now, we're going to talk let's start with some soccer. You want to talk a little soccer, Hunter?
Yeah, we can start with some soccer.
We can go into all sorts of soccer. We're going to turn back the clocks because we've had some Southeast Iowa Union on Southeast Iowa Union clashes.
Oh, yeah.
You had the first one. You had the Mount Pleasant. Why don't you tell us? So Mount Pleasant Fairfield played last Thursday.
Yep.
And then Mount Pleasant played Washington this Monday. Kind of. We'll get into that in a second. And then Washington Fairfield is coming up. So, Hunter, you were at one portion of the Highway 34 rivalry on Thursday.
Yeah, we'll jump into the girls first because there was a little history in this game here. On the girls' side, Fairfield in Mount Pleasant. As you mentioned, a little Southeast Conference action. History was made by Mount Pleasant's Charisse Owerda. Obviously, she's been a stellar player for Mount Pleasant the past 4 years, senior this year. But she now holds the Mount Pleasant all-time points record for girls soccer. Actually, was previously held by New London. A New London kid in Ellie Manning, which obviously Mount Pleasant, New London. I don't know if I'm assuming that partnership's still there, but
yeah, she was like the first kid from New London to go play with them, and then she was Sharissa's teammate for a while, actually.
Yep. Yeah, and it's kind of interesting to see because in her freshman season, when Manning hit that record, Owerda had 13 goals and 20 assists, and a lot of those were to Manning. So it's kind of cool to see her time kind of come around. But Panthers get it done on the night, 5-1. Around the 37-minute mark, Owerda scored pretty quick back-to-back goals to give the Panthers a 2-0 lead. Those two goals tied the record. Entering the contest, she said, at 176 points. Manning's record was 180. And obviously, the scoring works where, what is it? It's
2 points for a goal,
2 points for goals and 1 point for assists. But there's a little rain on the night, a little soggy conditions, but really didn't slow down Mount Pleasant. Panthers continue to press the Trojans. Tori Wilson got in on the goal scoring at the 33rd and 32nd minute. She scored a pair as well, put the Panthers up 4-0. And then Fairfield finally got on the board with about 26 minutes remaining in the first half from a goal from Haley Strickland. But, that was kind of the best opportunity Fairfield had other opportunities, but that was one they capitalized on the night, obviously, them finishing with the one goal there. But what's crazy is a crazy little history on that goal. That was the first time in 6 years that Fairfield has scored on Mount Pleasant.
Oh, really?
I look back at that. It was. I'm like, man, that's kind of crazy. But So I decided to throw that little information in there just to show just kind of improvement of Fairfield too as well. Coming into this season because if you look back at the past matchups, obviously Mount Pleasant, tied with Meepo at the beginning of the season, and then Fairfield went and beat Meepo. So just to show it's pretty close in the SEC, but.
The Fairfield girls are definitely. It took them a while, but they're coming. They definitely have the talent now that they're going to be able to win some of these.
I agree.
Games.
So the first half ended with Mount Pleasant 4-1. Obviously, they never lose it. And then record in sight for her into the second half. She found an opening. And the third goal of the night, the hat trick, was pretty nice when she went leaping through the air, header into the back of the net. So after that one, she now holds the record of 182 total points. With that win, Panthers improved to 3-0-1 on the season. Fairfield went 1-1. Yeah, obviously there were games last night. I know you'll get into those, but
yeah, I will.
Also, looking back real quick, just the final, Mount Pleasant did defeat Fairfield on the boys' side as well. So, yeah, that's it from last week's Thursday night soccer action.
Yeah, and then so jumping into so we're going to talk about the Mount Pleasant Washington games which happened on Monday. But real quick, because we were just talking about Fairfield. Fairfield did go and they hosted Fort Madison and girls on Monday, and they only lost 3-0. Fort Madison, I would say, is one of the favorites for sure to win the SEC. So you can see again that Fairfield was playing some of these top teams really close. And then why don't I just get the boys' score out of the way too? How about that? How about that? Fairfield and Fort Madison boys. There are some years where that's just the conference championship. This year, I think it more wide open. But Fairfield boys did lose 4-0 to Fort Madison. So Fort Madison undefeated in both boys and girls, much like Mount Pleasant. I'm going to talk about the Mount Pleasant Washington girls, which was a wild ride for a lot of reasons. First off, it was the first game in Southeast Iowa Union history that our new head soccer announcer Jack was covering. I had covered all the other Washington ones, so I was there to actually take pictures and cover the game like normal. And so it was funny because we were talking about just trying to feel it out and learn the players' names and stuff, and hopefully nothing crazy happens immediately. And Charisse Awarda scored. Officially, I think they counted it as 11 seconds. At the time, I saw 10 seconds. I watched the replay. It was more like 8 seconds. More like 8 seconds into the game. Mount Pleasant controlled the ball and sent it ahead right down the middle. She slipped by 2 defenders and had a one-on-one with the keeper and scored right away. It was 1-0. Maya Murphy scored for Washington and tied up 1-1. And then Awarda scored twice. One was on a penalty kick. Awarda scored once on a penalty kick, which Tori Wilson drew the penalty kick. And then Awarda, in soccer, you can pick whoever to take it. And then later in the first half, Tori Wilson scored one herself. So it was 3-1 going into halftime. Now, during the first half, there was only one official out there. Which I guess they got there and they're like, oh, crud, the other referee went to the wrong place, went to Cedar Rapids, Washington, which is not the first time that's happened. Sometimes referees go to the wrong place. They go to Cedar Rapids because they see Washington, and if you're, Cedar Rapids, Washington, and Washington, Iowa are not that far away from each other.
Right.
So they played that whole first half, and then I guess they got a call, and somebody who was an official of, high school soccer was like, hey, that first half you guys just played can't count. There's only one ref out there. Like, you have to not only stop the game right now, but then you're not even going to, when they have to postpone it and they're not even going to pick up at halftime, they have to restart the whole game. So nothing that I just talked about ever technically happened. But unofficially, Warda had 2 more. So now we have to take those off the record books. Wilson had 1 and Murphy had 1. So Washington was a little shorthanded, had a couple girls that weren't there. And so a couple of the Demon players were excited that not only were they losing, but now they're going to get some players back for this big rivalry game. So that is important in the world of the SEC, obviously, because we know that both soccer leagues are going to be battles. So that's what happened in the girls' game. It's what didn't happen in the girls' game. Despite the fact that it didn't happen, we have about an hour and a half of that game on film. So go to Southeast Iowa Live on YouTube and Facebook. Check out what didn't happen. Hunter, you were at a game that did happen.
Yes, I was.
in Mount Pleasant. How'd that go?
I'm still just laughing at the fact that you're like that they just played and then someone's like, hey, we just got to call this, man.
We just gotta call. And it's funny because it's a weird thing because you're going in. I was actually tweeting out the halftime score a little late because it was coming into the second half. All of a sudden, the girls from both teams are just running over, like smiling and giggling, and we're like, "What is going on?" And they're just going, "It's over! It's over! We can go home." And there's mass confusion, and it was hilarious that it was Jack's first game to call, and then something like that happens where he has to basically be like, "Oh, and
the game's over."
I actually ran over to tell them because I was like, they probably won't hear about it, but somebody got to them before I did, so they were already announcing that it was over. So there we go. They'll play again sometime. I haven't seen when it's going to get postponed for. Probably pretty close to when they played the other time. So
yeah,
whatever.
Yes, sir. But as you mentioned, I was in Mount Pleasant, Eastlake Park last night for a little Washington Mount Pleasant boys action. Actually, it wasn't last night; it was Monday night. But
Monday night.
Yeah, Monday night.
A couple nights ago for people that are watching Thursday.
Yeah, but big win for Mount Pleasant. Obviously, they're looking real good here in the early season. And it was kind of a little I don't know if I'll say history, but in recent years history, it's the first head-to-head win for Mount Pleasant over Washington in 6 years.
Wow, a lot of 6-year history.
A lot of 6-year history here. Mount Pleasant coming on strong in the soccer. But last time the Panthers defeated the Demons was 2019. But it was pretty much all Mount Pleasant on Monday night. 4-0 shutout of the Demons, as I mentioned, the shutout. But stellar defensive showing. The Panthers' defense really has impressed me as of late. Obviously, we knew that they had offensive weapons.
Yeah.
And but defensively, their back line is just they've just been playing well here early, but Washington did well in its own right defensively. The 26-minute mark is when Mount Pleasant finally broke through. Brandon Velaz scored one of his 2 goals on the night. It was kind of an impressive goal. Obviously, probably no shocker here, but Dylan White on the end of a long through ball down the field, and Velaz just kind of ran after it. Really was strong on his feet, holding off a pair of Demon defenders. Somehow was able to just slip the ball through after fighting off the defenders there. But that opened the scoring for the Demons. White obviously had another big night. He ended up with 3 assists as well on the night. But less than 10 minutes later, after Velaz's first goal, he scored again. It was kind of an errant save. Inside the Demons box, ball kind of rattled around. They couldn't get on it or kick it away. But found Velaz's foot once again. He just kind of was able to kick it in for an easy one. So it put Mount Pleasant up 2-0. Held that advantage at the half, and then they really continued with that same pace in the second half. This time, Akbar Wilson and White got in on the goal scoring. So then they kind of rode it out after that for that 4-0 victory. But Zachary LeBlanc ends with 3 saves for the Panthers. Those were the only shots on goal the whole night for Washington, just 3 shots on goal. So mentioning that Mount Pleasant defense, it's looking really, really good here in the early season. Obviously, looking at Washington, obviously, I wouldn't call it a rebuild for them. Obviously, they return a lot of talent, but they had a very good senior class last year that had a kind of that I guess it was just really good the past 4 years after last year. But Mount Pleasant 4-1 on the season now, and Washington down to 1-4 after the loss. So
for sure, and that one win I was at that one win, which is a 1-0 win over Burlington last Thursday. The Washington boys were outshot 25-4. Still won 1-0.
Man,
it's Caden Reed, who didn't even play soccer last year, has been a great keeper, and their defense has been really solid. But yeah, I mean, Mount Pleasant has been coming. We knew they were going to be a pretty solid win. Both the girls and the boys from Mount Pleasant the kids who are stars right now were starting when they were freshmen, sophomores. By the way, yeah. So check out this streak. So Washington never beat Mount Pleasant in boys soccer from their last time had been 2014, and then it was a 7-year streak until 2021 when Washington finally beat Mount Pleasant, and then that turned into a 4-year streak for Washington, where Mount Pleasant didn't beat Washington. So it's one of those high school sports things where teams just build these huge winning streaks. And it was the opposite in the girls, because I was telling them in the girls rivalry we had that like 5 years in a row where it went to overtime. Mm-hmm. So it's a little different. But anyway, that's what we got for soccer. We're gonna bring you a few track results. So let's just spit out some track results. I'm going to spit out some from the Washington Demon Relays in Washington, Iowa. This happened on Thursday. It's a boy-girl relays for Washington, and it was a competitive team standings, but the Washington Demons, double winners at their own home relays. The boys scored 98 points to win the meet by 16 over Iowa City Liberty, and the girls scored 151 points to score the victory over Mount Pleasant. Had 121 and 1/3. If you notice that, those scores for the girls were way higher. That's because there was a much bigger gap between the girls' teams. The boys' teams, it went 90, 98, 82, 78, 70. Fairfield got fourth with 70, 69, 62, 55, 48. So everyone was kind of within a earshot of everybody else. A few winners from here. Let me scroll back up. Iris Stahl won the 1500 for the Demon girls. Leighton Messenger won the high jump for the Demon girls. Jocelyn Vila won the long jump for the Demon girls. Shuttle hurdle and 4x4 on the Washington girls side. On the boys for Washington, Tyler Alderson wins the 32. Grayson Hartman wins both the shot put in the discus, and the 4x1 team wins as well. For Mount Pleasant, Alex Scott won the 100 and 200 meter dashes, both the speed events there, and both the sprint medleys, the 4x1 and the 4x2, Mount Pleasant won. So a sweep in all the major sprint categories there for the Mount Pleasant girls. Fairfield's Lily Bergen wins the 100 meter hurdles. Fairfield's Eli Zellman wins the long jump. And we had a win from Waco in a exciting 200 meter dash. That's the top picture if you pick up the newspaper. Waco's Hayden Shellman gets Cale Williams right at the line. There were a few of our area kids coming right to the line, and those two leaned at the exact same time. Shellman beats him to win the 200 meter dash, and Jude Dykstra wins the 1600. Waco girls win the 800 with Carly Lunsford, and the Warriors won the distance medley. So those are all your winners from Washington. A lot of our teams there. And Washington has now hosted, 3 or 4? I think 3 home track meets already. We're in Washington a lot for track at the beginning of the year. But a lot of history there. A lot of history.
They bring a lot of like tough schools there too in their meets.
They do. Our 3 big schools, they're hosting track meets like every second. And in fact, you were in Fairfield last night, I believe.
That is correct.
You have results in from the Fairfield meet?
Yeah, I'll go through the team scores and then just name off some of the individual winners here. But 9-team field last night in Fairfield. 3 area teams there. Obviously, the Trojans, the hosts, and then Pekin and Van Buren County as well. But big night for Fairfield. Obviously, we expect them. Come like the postseason time, they're going to be right there with some events. Obviously, they got some highly ranked people. Obviously, most notably their jumpers. But 161 points put up by the Trojans. That was enough for the title. Pekin and Van Buren County took 3rd and 4th respectively. Pekin with 113.5 points. Van Buren County with 102 points. Looking at some of the wins here. Gabe Tejada for Fairfield in the 800 meter, Dylan Adam in the 400 meter hurdles. Obviously, Eli Zillman in the high jump. And then jumping into Pekin, Casey Davis gets a win in the 110-meter hurdles. Van Buren County, Lincoln Bainbridge in the 200-meter, Gavin Knoll in the 3,200-meter, and obviously the Warriors are also the Warriors are they have some pretty good relays as well. 4x1 they won. Let me go through here. Pretty sure it was Pekin wins the 4x2. Sorry, I don't have the relays in yet, so I'm clicking through here. Fairfield wins the 4x4, 4x8. Pretty sure that was nope. That was Oskaloosa wins the 4x8. 800-meter medley, Van Buren County with the win. 1,600-meter medley, Van Buren County with the win. And then finally the 4x1 110-meter shuttle hurdle, Fairfield with the win. So, pretty good result from those three area teams. Fort Madison finished second, just to fill in the blank of the top four there. But yeah, a nice showing for Fairfield, and our smaller 1A schools in Pekin and Van Buren County looking to make some noise the rest of the season, and obviously hope to be up at the Blue Oval.
For sure. We have also some results from the Penn City relays. We had a lot of track today, but everyone down in Fort Madison, a lot of our girls teams. Washington wins again. Another girls track meet win for Washington with 151. Mount Pleasant was second with 126. Fairfield eighth with 48 points. That was in the Class A division. This is all girls. And then Van Buren County wins the Class B division in a absolute battle to the finish, 148 to 145 over Minneapolis Cardinal with 93. Winfield Mount Union with 50, and Cardinal was fourth with 93. Winfield Mount Union and New London sixth and seventh respectively. Now I'm going to read off the winners that I have here. So you ready for this? Are you buckled in, Hunter?
I'm buckled in.
We're going to the lightning round. 100-meter dash, Mount Pleasant's Alex Scott. 200-meter dash, Mount Pleasant's Kinley White. This is an A, by the way, obviously, because I'm talking about big schools here. 1,500, Iris Dahl of Washington. 100-meter hurdles, Leighton Messenger of Washington. 400-meter hurdles, Leighton Messenger of Washington. 4x1, the Mount Pleasant Panther team of Kaya Sanders, Alex Scott, Taylor Williamson, and Kinley White. 4x2, the Mount Pleasant team of Ellie Freeman, Kinley White, Kaya Sanders, and Alex Scott. Let's see here. Nope, just kidding. 800 sprint medley, which I don't like that they have the word 800 in there. We complained about this last week. Sprint medley, the Fairfield Trojans, Bella Buckley, Ireland Cranston, Lily Berggren, and Samantha Lyons. They win that one. Shuttle hurdle, the Washington Demon team of Leighton Salazar, Layla Green, Kendall Hendrickson, and Leighton Messenger. No. Come on, Oskaloosa have some good field events. I think they swept. They sure did in Class A. So here we go. Now, Class B, the 200-meter dash. Addison Adam of Cardinal wins for the Comets. 800-meter run, Kaylee Snowgren of Van Buren County gets the win. 3,000-meter run, Riley Phillips of Van Buren County gets the win. We win. Our area wins a lot, and then I get stuck into one of these things where I haven't seen a win in a while. Here we go. 4x8, Van Buren's Gabby Titus, Jacqueline Singer, Riley Phillips, and Kaylee Snowgren get the win. Danville, Mediapolis, Bluty Blue, Bluty Blah. In the long jump, it's Kimley Buffington of Winfield Mount Union getting the win. And in the discus, Van Buren County's Lexi Wiley. And there are your winners from the girls' Penn City relays. In Penn City, Fort Madison. I've never bought a pin from Fort Madison, but I've been to the Penn City, the place that sells pins.
You know what I think I say this about every week, but you know what I figured out?
What's that?
Come Drake relay / state more than anything with Drake, but
yeah,
it's gonna be another busy one, man.
We'll be busy. We'll be running around. Probably.
I was looking at individual classes, and a lot of our teams are have individuals or relays that are ranked pretty high.
We're gonna party it up at what's the restaurant we eat at during state?
Bennigan's.
Bennigan's. Everybody go to Bennigan's on Friday night. We'll be there. Man, that's coming soon too, because that's during the NBA playoffs. We're gonna give our NBA playoff picks in the C block. But B block's coming up. We're gonna talk a little soccer, a little tennis. Sorry, a little tennis, a little golf. We'll be back.
Introducing Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every meal is a delight. Start your day with our mouthwatering breakfast options and savor flavorful lunches with friends and family. Cap off your day with our delectable dinners. Hy-Vee Market Grill, where every moment is delicious.
The Connie and Amanda team is dedicated to giving back to our community by actively engaging with our clients, businesses, and the public. When it comes to helping you find your next home, investment, or commercial space, the Connie and Amanda team is here for you.
Washington County Hospital and Clinics, providing quality health care that puts you first. Whether during a hospital stay, seeing a primary care provider for wellness exams or sick visits, minor surgery to a total joint replacement, or recovering from an injury, we're here when you need us.
More than you expect for your health care. Washington County Hospital and Clinics.
Breaking news.
Are you looking for a sports show with intensity?
And we'll see you in court, Mark Cuban, you broke bum.
Are you looking for a sports show with passion?
Moment of silence for the name Wells Fargo Arena.
And are you looking for a sports show with whatever this is?
And today we are counting down Justin Bieber's top 10 girlfriends. That's right.
Make sure to check out Andy and Hunter every Thursday on Prep Sports Plus, breaking down all the high school sports from across the Southeast Iowa region, talking about all your favorite schools such as Washington, Mount Pleasant, Fairfield, Waco, Winfield Mount Union, Pekin, and so much more. Make sure to check out Prep Sports Plus every Thursday at noon on the Southeast Iowa Live Facebook and YouTube page.
Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Great to see you again. We're here on Southeast Iowa Union Prep Sports Plus, powered by Fairway Food Stores, Andy and Hunter, Peter on the ones and twos. We're going to talk some tennis. Oh, before we talk some tennis, we're clearing out the Mount Pleasant office right now. We had a tennis racket that we used to kill bats that I was going to use to kill tennis balls. I was going to take it, and somebody beat me to it. So I'm pretty.
Ooh, that's crazy.
I'm pretty sure somebody that wanted it to actually like kill bats like it was originally meant to, but it's a pretty good tennis racket. Or I already took it home like months ago. Anyway, Hunter.
Yes, sir.
Fairfield, Mount Pleasant met on the tennis courts.
Yes, they did.
How'd it go?
Let's get into it. Obviously, Fairfield, been pretty good at tennis for some time now.
They have.
And the Fairfield girls are looking good in the early season.
They are.
They picked up a 9-0 sweep of Mount Pleasant on Monday night. Let's see here. Individually, obviously, I mentioned the sweep. So individually, obviously, a pretty dominant showing for Fairfield in each of the individual matches as well as doubles. But Pujita Mukadam was a winner in the number one match. Mukadam defeated Bethany Drury of Mount Pleasant 8-2. Natalie Steele in the number two match was a winner. She defeats Audrey Richmond 8-0. Soraya Yaminer 8-4 winner over Helena Crane. Emma Wendland notched a 3-0 victory over Zoe Carlson. That one ended a little early because I think Carlson was dealing with like a little bit of an injury, so she had to come out. And Wendland took the win there. But moving on, Faith Jones defeats Lila Cook 8-1, and then Faven Gabriel Mariam, I think that's how you say. I'm just going to take a shot at that.
Yep, that was perfect.
Won against Hannah Villa Plaza 8-0 as well. So obviously, the most Panther was able to get, set wise there was a 2-win. So as I mentioned, pretty dominant showing for Fairfield in doubles. Carried over into in singles, carried over into doubles as well. Mukadam and Steel defeat Drury and Richmond 8-0. Yaminer and Wendland closed out an 8-1 win over Crane and Smith. And finally, Jones and Lola Hatchet defeat Cook and Villa Plaza 8-5. That would end up being the closest match of the night. Fairfield girls, looking really, really good here in the early season.
They sure are. Fairfield's extremely strong. I actually saw Mount Pleasant play Fairfield Maharishi. Maharishi only had 5 because they had a couple illnesses, and Maharishi nipped Mount Pleasant the other day. I guess I could. Why don't I go ahead and shout out the winners on that one? That was a yearly opening game. Mount Pleasant and Maharishi play a lot in girls tennis right off the bat. Remember that Maharishi doesn't have boys tennis, so this is the Maharishi tennis team of note. Maharishi gets singles wins from Ria Altenska-Ross, Aparajita Kara, and Joyce Wang. Oh, I screwed that up. Sorry.
Right.
Altenska-Ross and Kara both won. So did Wang. Sorry, my brain screwed up because I realized that I screwed something up in the story. That happens often on this show. Mount Pleasant got wins from Zoe Carlson and Leela Cook. And then in doubles, Altenska-Ross and Wang won the number 1 doubles match, and Kara and Singh won the number 2 doubles match. And that was all. There's two forfeits for Maharishi. 2 forfeit wins for Mount Pleasant was the other 2 victories because they got wins there. Anyway, sorry, I screwed up on one of the
You
pictures.
got flustered.
Fix it. Now I gotta go fix the website. And then feel free, everyone, to call and make sure to let me know that we screwed something up in the newspaper. We had one of the picture captions wrong. Anyway, do you have Fairfield Mount Pleasant boys?
I looked and it turned out that that got postponed to the 22nd.
Oh yeah, that's right. That got postponed before. I don't even know what happened, but that got postponed actually. It wasn't like a weather postponement. It was already postponed a couple days ago. So, well, there we go. There's tennis. Dang it. I hate when I screw stuff up. We pride ourselves on being perfect at the Southeast Iowa Union and never having any flaws. And
I know.
I'll ruin that. Let's talk a little golf.
I hate when I go over it and then I go over it and then I see it later on. And I'm like, how did I miss that?
You know what? I'm going to make up for it right here. I'm going to bring you guys up to speed on the SEC girls golf season, which has been more exciting than those Masters. I'll tell you what, these team scores, the same teams won every time, but these are barn burners at the top. In Fairfield on Thursday, top 4 teams separated by 23 strokes. Keokuk with an even 200 wins. Mount Pleasant 214 beats out Fort Madison by 1 stroke, 214 to 215 for the second place. That was Mount Pleasant's second place. Washington with a 223. I'm going to read off the top 10 here. Keokuk's Allison Ames. Burlington's, wait, is that purple? Oh, crud, purple. Now my color blindness is coming out. Keokuk's, okay, that's all Keokuk. Keokuk's Allison Ames. Keokuk's Kerrigan Morris, number 1 and 2. Fort Madison's Kylie Lumino, actually tied for second with a 48 with Morris. Ames had a 47. Shooting 49s were Washington's Lauren Hendrickson and Mount Pleasant's Izzy Zillman. Delaney Rule of Keokuk shot a 51. Ella Bentler of Fairfield shot a 52. And shooting 54 were Ireland Say of Keokuk, Ashlyn Beauchamp of Mount Pleasant, and Elizabeth Hora of Washington. Now, remember, Keokuk first, Mount Pleasant second, Fort Madison third, and Fort Madison fell to Mount Pleasant by 1 stroke. Then at Fort Madison on Monday night, check these team scores out, Hunter. Keokuk wins again with a 206. Fort Madison 210, Mount Pleasant 211. 5 strokes between the top 3 teams, just like last year. Remember, I'd say Keokuk's got a little edge right now. Obviously, they've won all 3, but just like last year, these meets are right down to the wire. Mm-hmm. Washington shot a 227 and Fairfield shot a 230. Your individual winner at Fort Madison Golf and Country Club was Fairfield's Ella Bentler, who shoots a 46 to leap up the standings from just a couple days earlier, because these girls are all playing each other at the SEC regular season. You just play against the same girls. Ames from Keokuk got second. Beauchamp and Natalie Wright from Mount Pleasant and Fort Madison, respectively, each shot a 49. Rule from Keokuk and Lumino from Fort Madison went 51-51. Morris, 52 for Keokuk. Lucy Sands of Washington shoots a 52. J.C. Fullenkamp of Fort Madison shoots a 52. And Sophia Walderbach of Mount Pleasant shoots a 53. So very, very tight beginning to the girls' golf season. But Keokuk has 3 wins, so they're already looking pretty strong to win the team score unless a couple teams can catch them. And they'll be in, where will they be? They'll be in Keokuk on today, if you're watching this on the 17th.
Yeah, there's it's always fun to watch, specifically Southeast Conference golf. The past couple of years has been so close.
Yeah, it's been close. And it's, honestly, I love the spreadsheets. It's got all the different colors, even though I'm colorblind, just to kind of see. It's just kind of a cool thing to scroll.
Yeah, it's really nice that they do that too. That's
where were the boys at on Monday?
The boys. Well, let's see. I've got Thursday night.
Oh, sorry. You're just gonna start with Thursday too. My bad. That was my bad. I just threw you a curveball for no reason. You know what? I screwed up earlier, so I was like, I'm gonna make Hunter screw up with this curveball question.
Well, let me pull this up real quick here because I didn't. Did you do the story of them? Well, never mind. I didn't. Do you have the story of them doing competing on Monday?
Just roll. You did tennis. I can actually probably roll through it because I think I actually have all of their results right here.
Well, I can talk about last Thursday if you want real quick when they were in Fort Madison. But
yeah, you talk about last Thursday, and then I'll bring up this the latest.
Okay, I've got the Keokuk pulled up as well. But anyway, the boys were in Fort Madison last Thursday. Schaefer Memorial Golf Park there Thursday night, but second conference meet of the year. Another big showing for Washington. Obviously, they've pretty much taken each of the meets thus far. So for the second straight time, 163 points gets it done for the Demons. Fairfield really close behind. Shot a 168 for second. Fort Madison was third with 175, and Mount Pleasant settled for fourth. Finished just one stroke back from the Bloodhounds there with 176 points. Mount Pleasant ended with, and obviously Keokuk 201 points. But Washington ended up with the 2 highest individual scores. Rajan Roth, 36 for medalist honor. Drew Conrad close behind, 38. Ended up tying for second And then for Fairfield, Luke Thornton led the way, tied for second there with Conrad with 38. Andrew Myers right behind with 39. And then I'll just read the top 2 so you can get into the next one. But Mount Pleasant's individual scores weren't posted on that, so we don't have the Panthers.
Oh, wait, was that Fort Madison on the 10th? I actually got those now.
You got those now? Do you want to read Mount Pleasant's real quick?
Merrick Lamb shot a 42. Brody Engel shot a 43 for their top 2.
There you go.
It's been updated.
There you go.
There you go. And then you go ahead and then let me know when you want me to talk about the next one.
No, you're good. You can jump into the next one. I have it pulled up as well. I mean, like the varsity bound version of it, but.
Oh, okay. So they were in Keokuk. Sorry, I was scrolling while you were talking. They were in Keokuk on Monday night. And in that one, we got another victory from the Washington Demon boys golf team, who shot a 160. Mount Pleasant shot a 164. So that went right down the freaking wire. Oh my goodness!
And look, Fairfield just in the Fort Madison one was 4 strokes behind as well. So it's like, it's any given night, man. I mean, like, obviously Washington's controlled the first 3, obviously won the first 3, but I mean, Fairfield and Mount Pleasant both just right there, week in and week out.
It's just like the girls. It's anybody's for grab. I'll read the scores for each. How about Carson Brown leads Washington with a 38. Drew Conrad, 39. Rajan Roth, 41. Cole Vetter, 42. Those are your 4 scores for the Washington Demons. For Mount Pleasant, we got 39s each out of Brody Engel and Merrick Lamb. We had a 42 out of Logan Calhoun, and we had a 44 out of Sam Frary. So a Nice showing for both those teams. Fairfield shot a 177. Actually fell Fort Madison snuck up and took third away from Fairfield. But Drew Myers shoots a 38. Archer Kruger shoots a 42. Xavier Kessel shoots a 47. And then what's the other score here? Voss Richardson with a 50. So there's your golf results in the SEC.
Yeah, I mean, both are very exciting so far with the total.
Yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff. By the way, tomorrow, Hunter will be either in Fairfield or Washington for some stuff, which includes the Fairfield-Washington soccer games, which are tomorrow, the Battle of Highway 1. I will be running around Mount Pleasant. I just checked the schedule. 4 sports in Mount Pleasant tomorrow.
Man.
Golf. Boys golf, girls soccer, boys and girls track, and tennis. There's some tennis also. When we come back, we're going to wrap things up. We're going to guarantee who's going to win the NBA Finals, actually. The two of us are going to maybe guarantee the same team. Yeah, that's all we got. Maybe we'll let Peter and Jack make their picks too. We'll be back.
Attention Hy-Vee shoppers, introducing Hy-Vee Perks, your ticket to exclusive savings and rewards. Access exclusive perks, prices, earn gas discounts, and unlock special deals. All this for free. Join Hy-Vee Perks today and start saving.
At Seafirst Credit Union, we're all about making connections, like how we connect you to that dream vacation with a savings account designed to help get you on the flight there. Connect with Seafirst today and see why together is better.
Bring the kids, share the memories, celebrate 75 years of traditions at the Midwest Old Threshers Reunion. Relive the magic of steam engines, antique cars, and trucks, tractors, gas engines, and horses. Whether it's your first visit or a cherished tradition, you'll enjoy the delicious foods, the thrill of an Old West shootout, and the excitement of nightly grandstand entertainment. For 75 years, this has been the place where memories are made at the 2025 Midwest Old Threshers Reunion, August 28th through September 1st in Mount Pleasant, Iowa. Visit oldthreshers.com for more details.
In the heart of rural Iowa, where community matters most, the connections we make are made to last. Meet KCTC, your hometown internet, phone, and TV provider. At KCTC, we're not just about technology, we're about people. Our dedicated team are your neighbors, committed to bringing you top-tier services right where you live. We believe in giving back to the community that raised us. Experience the power of a real connection with KCTC. Join us in building a stronger, more connected Southeast Iowa.
Welcome back, Southeast Iowa Union Prep Sports Plus. Here on the Southeast Iowa Video Network, Southeast Iowa Live on YouTube and Facebook. We're powered by Fairway. We're also powered by all of the advertisers that are on your screen. They've been with us for like 2 weeks. We're going to give you our guarantees for this NBA season, for this NBA playoffs. You know, we did so great in the NCAA tournament. Hunter, pick a number between 1 and 4.
2.
2. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. Hunter, you got to go first. You tell us your final 4 in the NBA. Who's gonna beat who in the conference finals? And who's gonna be the NBA champion?
Ooh, okay. The East, in my opinion, is easier to pick than the West. I don't see. I mean, I feel like, you know what? I'm gonna go 1 and 2. I'm gonna go Cleveland and Boston meeting in the conference finals, just because that would be the matchup that I would most excited to see out of the East. So those two going at it, really enticing matchup in my opinion. Out of the West, this is where it gets interesting. I mean, OKC. How do I feel about OKC? Out of the West, I'm gonna go OKC. And then I will go. Do I trust the Lakers? No. Do you know what? I'm going to go OKC Golden State in the conference finals there, and I'm going to say, let's just, you know what? I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to go one versus one. I got Cleveland OKC in the finals, and I've got Cleveland winning it.
The Cleveland Cavaliers bring a championship without LeBron.
I mean, they're deep. Their stars are insanely good. Evan Mobley and Mitchell and Darius Garland. I mean, those guys are just ridiculous.
They're awesome. Jared
Allen is a defender at the rim, grabs boards, can't shoot worth a crap, but that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Looks like he's in the 70s.
And even when they played the Pacers the last final 2 games of the season, I mean, their backups were giving the Pacers work, and the all 5 starters didn't even play. So I'm like Cleveland looking good. So I'm gonna 1-1.
Is your NBA Finals MVP Donnie Mitchell then?
I'd say either him or Evan Mobley, probably.
Him or Mobley. All right, I'm going to go next. I'm going to be a little crazy as well. I'm actually going to be super crazy because I honestly think I'm going to go in the East. I'm going to go Celtics versus the Bucks. I think the Bucks are going to stun Cleveland. Cleveland's going to choke it away.
If Dame Lillard comes back and plays, I could see that. But if he doesn't play, then
I think the Bucks haven't played with Giannis for a while in the playoffs, right? He's kind of been banged up. I think he might be back this year. I think he's gonna wake up. I think he's going to dunk on all those Cleveland guys we just were mentioning. I think that the Celtics will beat the Bucks, get back to the championship. In the West, I'm going Nuggets, Warriors. Just the star power. I think it's going to be wild. This is the real March Madness. Nuggets over the Warriors, and I'm going to pick the Denver Nuggets to beat the Boston Celtics and Nikola Jokic to win again. And it'll be unanimous Finals MVP because he's going to get like a 50-point triple-double every game. Peter and Jack, who you guys got, if we can hear you? I'll repeat what you say. Oh. Peter has Boston. Boston beating Cleveland and OKC beating LA. So Boston, OKC in the finals. Boston again. Anything's possible. And your final MVP would be?
Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm guessing. Oh, Peyton Pritchard. Why not? Wow. That's all right. We got a Peyton Pritchard. And what does Jack think? Jack has Celtics over Cavs. OKC over LA. He's got Thunder over Celtics. All right, so we have 4 guarantees for you. Jalen Williams. We have 4. We have 4 guarantees. The next 4 things will definitely happen. The next 4 things will absolutely happen. The Cleveland Cavaliers will win the NBA Finals this year. The Denver Nuggets will win the NBA Finals this year. The Boston Celtics will win the NBA Finals this year. And the Oklahoma City Thunder will win the NBA Finals this year. Parlay all 4 of those on any sports book you want. Bet your house on it. It's going to happen.
I think it's harder. I think it's harder to pick the West for sure, in my opinion.
Can I say something controversial? Is it harder to pick the NBA champion this year than it was to pick the NCAA champion?
Probably.
The NBA is where the real March Madness happens. I also would be rewarded in a way. I don't want to say if the Chicago Bulls were to happen to win. I would, just so everyone knows, I would benefit. My life would benefit in multiple ways if the Bulls did it. So be sad if they lost last night because you're watching this on Thursday. There's your guarantees. One of those 4 teams is going to win it. Anybody whose team wasn't mentioned, you got no chance. You have 4 top of the line sports experts that just told you what was going to happen. and none of them agreed with each other. So, yeah, you got anything else, Hunter?
Nothing really too crazy.
Come say hi to us. We'll be around.
Yep, we're always just trotting around out and about.
Out and about, driving around.
Come talk to us when it's very windy, bad weather, and we're at a soccer event out in the cold.
Yes, please get our minds off it. Come talk to us in Washington and Fairfield and Mount Pleasant and Wellman and New London and Wayland and Winfield, Keosauqua and Eldon and Packwood in Columbus community and Riverside and Kelowna. Come talk to us.
Way to shout out all the towns. I think you might have got them all.
I think I might have, or I skipped somebody. No, I think I got everybody. Oh, and Kyoto.
Oh, Kyoto. Yep.
In Sigourney, if it's an SK sporting event. All right. I think we're good.
I think we are.
See you later, everyone. Go Cavs, Thunder, the other two teams we picked.
Yep. Bucks.
Didn't pick the Bucks.
Peace. We'll see you next week. No.